Hello everyone, I've got a robotic vacuum cleaner to look at today, a robotic vacuum cleaner with a difference, which is why I decided to go for it. It was also on offer and I thought that's a very good price, and I like the Eufy brand. I'm not sponsored by Eufy, I've never received anything free from Eufy, but I do use as my daily driver another Eufy robot that's based in my kitchen, and I just tend to use that mainly in the kitchen for vacuuming and washing the kitchen floor. It gets used at least once a day, sometimes twice, and I'm really happy with it. But for the rest of the house, I thought I would try this. It's self-emptying, so it has a dust bag in the container, in the charging unit. It will empty itself. But what makes this very different to the majority of robotic vacuums, even self-emptying robots, is the fact that it converts into a stick vacuum. So you've got your robot for doing your carpets and floors, and then you have a stick cleaner for doing your stairs, your upholstery, even taking it out to clean the car. This is model E20. It has auto emptying station, 40% faster charging against probably another model, and precise obstacle avoidance. So I'll get this open, we'll take a look and put it on charge before a demonstration. Here's everything out of the box. We get some safety information. That's not an instruction book. You need to go online to read the full instructions. We've got a dock assist mat in this clear plastic. The robot itself, of course. The self-charging base incorporating a dust bag. We've got the main floor brush cleaner head, a telescopic wand, which is metal. Got the combination tool for your upholstery, your lampshades, general high-level dusting. You've got a little slide-out brush, very similar to the original Dyson combi tool, and many manufacturers have copied this. We've also got a crevice tool, but it's actually on board the robot. So there's your crevice tool for your nooks and crannies. You get two sets of leads. This is a UK version, so obviously I get a lead with a 3-pin UK plug, but also in the box was a 2-pin plug. I think this is a European/German plug. Looks like it. Looks like, I think they call these a Schuko type plug connector. Now obviously in Europe you'll probably be supplied with both. If you're watching this in America or other countries, you'll get the correct cable for your socket outlets wherever you purchase the cleaner from. And then we've got the spinning side brush. It's not a spare, it's one that you have to fit to the robot before you use it. This is the underside of the Eufy E20. So I've got two wheels that obviously move up and down so it can negotiate different floor surfaces, go over thresholds, etc. We've got the spinning brush in the middle, a combination of sort of rubber flexible blades and soft brushes, and we've got a spinning wheel at the front. These metal parts are where it engages with a charging dock to charge it, and here is where we need to fit the spinning side brush. So you just click it into place like so. So that's the underside. Obviously we can take the brush out. From time to time you will need to give this a thorough clean, but it just lifts out, and spares will be available of the main brush, the spinning side brush, and dust bags that you need for the self-charging, self-emptying dock. Let's make sure it goes in the right way. I was doing it right, I think. Hang on. Yes, it was the right way, that way. It'll only go in one way. Let's make sure it's seated properly. That's it. There are some brush cleaning combs on the underside of this. I think they're metal. Oh, it does move, look. That might help keep some of the hairs and fibres from permanently wrapping themselves around, but I think you will still have to manually clean this from time to time, maybe once a month, depending on use. So we can pop it back. That way, is it? I wasn't taking any notice of what I was doing. I think I was right first time. Yes, it was. There. Make sure it's clicked. That will move up and down because it will adjust according to the height of the carpet. There are various sensors underneath, which is important to keep clean with a just a dry cloth. You need to wipe those from time to time. So that's it. So what makes this rather different, and is the reason I chose it, is the fact that it's got this separate handheld vacuum cleaner. We've got a red button here which we can press to release the handheld unit. So this incorporates the bagless container as well as the motor. So this provides the suction for the robot, and there's another motor that drives the brushes. I don't know if we've got any charging. You are supposed to fully charge before use. We've got a mode button which changes the mode. I wonder if we've got a display on this. That changes the mode. We've got a max charge on here. That will change as we charge it. But I'm not sure if I can switch it on yet, because I can't see how you switch it on. There's a mode. I wonder if I have to hold that button in at the top. No, nothing's happening yet, but I think we need to charge it first. It activates the battery, so I think that it will work once the battery is fully charged. And we can get to the bagless unit, and there's a little mesh filter as well, which should come out. Yeah, there's a filter there that you will need to replace. It's possible that you can wash this. I'd have to check the instructions. But of course, this is self-emptying, so when it goes back to dock, it should suck out all the dirt in the bin, and the suction should also help suck out any finer dust that's on the filter. That's what usually happens anyway. Is that in? Clearly I need to read the instruction book. I think, hang on, it needs to be locked in place. I think that's in place. We'll soon find out when I put this on. It seems to be fine. So yes, it's an odd shape, but then I suppose it has to be to fit inside the robot. But this is where you attach the wand. Will it just fit in like that? So with the wand fitted, I suppose you hold it like this. This is the best, yeah, this is the most intuitive way of holding it, with the button on the top, and you can just put your finger in this little slot here. So that's how you'd hold it, and then of course you can attach the floor nozzle to it, extend the wand because it's telescopic, and there you have your cordless stick. And of course you should be able to attach, if I can remove the wand, it's a bit stiff because it's new, should be able to attach the tools directly. Yeah, so you can use it like that in your car as a handheld. And I will check later on if you can attach the, well, I'll do it now while I'm here. Yeah, it's very stiff. There's no button to press to release the small, I don't think there's a button to press. That I'm sure will loosen up in use, but yeah, it's new. There's no release latch on that. It just seems to have wedged itself in. That doesn't want to come off. Wow. Whew. Hopefully that will loosen up. That was really difficult. But yeah, it just pulls off. You don't have to press a button to release it. I was just going to see, wasn't I, if the main head will fit directly onto the cleaner. I'm not even going to try, because it's definitely not going to fit. This is a round fitting and the machine itself is a square fitting. It would have been nice if I could have attached this unit direct, and then I could deep clean my stairs. You can still clean your stairs with this machine, but you do need to use the wand. But I suppose if you condense it, it is, yeah, there we go. It's fully condensed now. And then we can pop the unit back on. So yes, it's light enough. You can hold the cleaner here and also hold the wand, and then you can clean your stairs using the rotating brush if you so wish to do. But yeah, everything is very stiff at the moment, but I'm just putting that down to this being a brand new machine. So we can pop this back in like so. It's clicked in place. Okie dokie, so that's ready for charging. We need to set up the docking station. First thing we need to do is insert the mains cable into the self-charge dock. It'll only go in one way. This pushes into the socket onto the back of the unit, and then any excess mains cable you can wrap around. Depending on where you're going to locate this, what side of the socket it's at, you can either direct the cable out of the left or the right side. So I will initially not wrap any cable. I'm going to plug this into charge. This is not going to be its final position, but it should be up against a wall, and you need to allow space around the unit so the robot can find it. Eufy say that you should place the empty station against a wall on a hard level surface and install the dock assist mat under the self-empty station, and you need to place it in a location with strong Wi-Fi that the robot can access, and a clearance of at least 1.5 meters in front and 0.5 meter either side. For the purpose of this video, I've placed my charging dock here, but I will find a more suitable permanent place for it after I've made this first look video. So we have the flexible mat underneath, and the dock is plugged into the wall socket. So now we just need to locate it onto the dock manually, and it goes in this way round with the connectors engaging with the connectors here on the base. I've also noticed a bit more packaging to remove just over the camera at the front. There we go. Take off that protective piece, and then we'll just locate the robot on the dock.
Charging.
While the Eufy is charging, the green LED indicator will fluctuate. When it's fully charged, the indicator shows a solid green colour. With the charging indicator a static green, my Eufy robot is now fully charged and ready for its first use. You can start the robot just by pressing the start button on the machine itself. We also have a home button that returns it to the charging base, and a mode button that changes the suction power. It is best to have the app, and then you gain access to all the features, including mapping, and also once you observe the cleaner going for the first few times, you might notice areas it tends to get stuck, so you can make those no-go zones quite simply by drawing a virtual line on the map. But the first thing it will do is map out the room. So I have the app, as I said, because I've got an existing Eufy product, and it was a very easy process to add this robot to it. So I know the state of charge. It told me in the app when it was charging. It would have had some charge in the battery when I got it out of the box, so it didn't take that long to fully charge.
Start cleaning.
Now, if you have a history of heart problems, my advice is not to watch your robotic vacuum cleaner do its job. This thing has already got stuck on certain things I knew it would get stuck on. It doesn't like my side tables, and clearly it doesn't like my round tables here. My previous, or my current Eufy that I use in the kitchen got caught in the same areas. So it is possible to set up no-go zones around the map. So when I finish this particular cleaning task, I'm going to set up no-go zones around my two side tables and basically around the area of this table, because it was humping the table for a few minutes before obviously it cut out. And the most frustrating thing about watching it, it keeps repeating the same mistakes over and over, expecting a different outcome. There's a famous saying, something to do with you can't expect a different outcome if you keep doing the same things. And this is what it does. So once it's found its way around, it's okay. It won't learn from its mistakes. That's what I found with my other Eufy. It'll keep doing the same thing. So you do have to set up no-go zones. So I'm going to have to retrieve this, rescue it from this area, press start again and see if it's going to complete. But if it goes back to this area, I'll just have to do all I can not to throw it on the pavement outside and destroy it, because my heart rate's already going up. I know it's got to learn. We've all got to learn. But you'd think by now robotic vacuums would have a little bit more sense. I wasn't recording at the time, but the voice said certain zones couldn't be cleaned because they couldn't be accessed. So it does know that it can't clean that area, but I don't think it's going to remember next time. I think now it's finished and it's going back to dock.
Charging.
I think it should start to empty the dust container now. It isn't yet. I would have expected it to start the motor in the charging unit. I'm wondering why it hasn't. It's cleaned for long enough. I'll just check the app. There may be a setting I have to change. If you're going to start the robot via the buttons on the cleaner itself, then you can adjust the suction setting before you press start. So by pressing the mode button, the voice will tell you what mode you've selected.
Standard suction mode.
So that's standard, which I think is default.
Turbo suction mode.
Turbo.
Maximum suction mode.
Maximum.
ECO suction mode.
That's eco, so that'll be the least suction, but also the lowest noise level. I'm just going to run it briefly on maximum, just to see how loud it is.
Standard suction mode. Turbo suction mode. Maximum suction mode. Start cleaning.
So even on maximum, it's not that bad. It's quieter than a lot of robots I've used, because I don't want to get caught up around the table.
Heading home.
Right, I'm pressing heading home. I don't know why it increased suction then. Of course, you can send it home via the app, which is a lot easier than pressing the button. They're not very well marked. They're etched, they're indentated with the symbols, but it's very hard to see, because obviously they're not. It should be. I would think it'd be better if they were a colour. But so it's finding its way home. Hopefully, it's that way, mate. Yeah, there it is. That way. Go on. It might empty this time, I don't know. I don't think the carpets, I don't think it's picked up. I can see dirt in the container. I'm going to pick up some dirt with the cleaner in its stick mode as well. So it is finding its way back. No, you're turning the wrong way, I think. Don't look at me. No, you don't reverse onto it, do you? Or do you? Perhaps you do. Yes, you do. Or do you?
Start collecting dust.
Ah, it's doing it. Oh. Ah, right. Now my other one doesn't do that, so it's collected dust from the back, but obviously to charge it goes in this way. So I've learnt something in this video.
Charging.
So with my other Eufy, it will go back and say charging, and then it will say emptying dust, or yeah, start emptying dust, it says, and then it will empty the dust from this position. But this one reverses and then empties the dust. But also my other Eufy has a floor washing facility, so it will wash the mops and start drying the mops as well after it's emptied any dust in the container. So it's a learning curve. So far I'm pretty pleased with it, but you know, it is very, very early days. Okay, let's have a look at the handheld unit. So press the red button to release it. Oh, and the robot does that when you've taken the handheld unit out. So yeah, the weight of the handheld unit keeps it flat. Obviously it's not going to be charging now because the battery is in here. So now when we press the on-off button, I'm not sure if there's any sort of display. I think we have to hold it. I'm not sure. Oh, there we go. So you have to hold the on-off switch in for a few seconds to switch on and switch off. So there's no display on here. You might expect there would be a time indicator display or a power level display, but no, it's just plain. This is where it shows you the indicators for the speed, but you'll know really how quiet or noisy it is. So yeah, you do have to keep your finger on the mains button. Yeah, I'm sure it'll take a bit of getting used to, but that's how you switch on. Let's see if I can judge the suction power. Switch on again. Wow! That's pretty impressive on maximum. Obviously we're going to get limited runtime on max, but blimey, it's saying it's 30,000 PA, whatever PA is. I've got my sealed suction gauge in my drawer, I think. Here it is. Not sure if it's going to fit over the square here. Should seal it off. Let's see what it is anyway. So as a comparison to a mains powered cylinder vacuum, for example, a Henry would measure 80 on this gauge. So it'll be interesting to see how powerful the Eufy gets as we increase the suction. Wow, that was amazing. This little device measured around 116 on the gauge on maximum. I mean, That is ridiculously powerful. Obviously, if you use it on that level, it's not going to last long. The battery won't last long, and it probably won't do the motor very good. But I can't believe that. I just thought it's a dual purpose. It's a robotic and a handheld cleaner. This will be mediocre. Might be okay as a robot for the carpets and floors, but I thought this would have mediocre suction. I cannot believe that result. 116. It was nearly 120. That's insane. Wow. Blimey. Now then, it did cut out. Yeah, it's quite warm. It's quite warm now. Don't do that at home, kids. It would have cut out if I held that suction gauge over the outlet for too long. It would have cut out the motor because there was no air flowing through. So the motor would have been getting hotter. A vacuum cleaner needs air to flow through it, to be sucked in and to be blown out of the exhaust. And if there's restriction to the airflow, it can start heating up the motor. So most vacuum cleaners, modern ones especially, have some sort of cutout. It'll either cut out immediately within a few seconds of blocking it off, or there'll be a thermal cutout near the motor to switch the machine off, and you have to wait for it to cool down. Blimey! I can't believe that. Cannot believe that. Okie dokie. Let's plug the doodah in this way. It's a bit, I'll get used to it, but having to hold your thumb on the off switch, just keep it until it turns off, it's a bit frustrating. But I suppose because this is a dual on-off and mode setter, I suppose it needs to do that, because if you just one press will obviously change the mode of the suction, and a long press turns it off. So yeah, it takes a bit of getting used to, as which way you put this on does. But you'll notice two holes here, and they correspond with two pins. Can you just see them there? Two pins on the wand, and they've got to connect up, because obviously the wand contains electrical connectors to power the multi-purpose brush, and that is a 15-watt floor brush. Let's just switch on and see it rotating. Okay, I'll give it a go on my new carpet. I think this is the first video I've filmed since having my new carpet fitted, apart from that video I made featuring 15 different vacuum cleaners, trying them out. And if you watch that video, you'll remember that all the vacuum cleaners I tried on it were fine on this carpet. My previous carpet was a deeper pile, and a lot of machines couldn't cope with it, especially cordless. If you increase the suction, the brush roller would cut out on them all the time. So it'd be interesting to see what this does. I've got to adjust the height. It's a little bit short if you're very tall, but it's okay. Now obviously you wouldn't be using it in this mode as much as you'd use it in the robot mode. I think people will buy this mainly for the robot feature, the automatic feature, just being able to set it and let it clean. But it is useful having another machine for your above floor cleaning and inside your car. So I'll switch on again. I think default on handheld mode will be standard. Maybe not. Right, it's on minimum. It's okay, very easy to push on minimum. Let's go up a mode. Very easy still. Up one more. Yeah, no problem. And I think the next setting is maximum. Yeah, a bit harder to push on maximum. I don't think you'd need to use it on max. Standard or the setting just below maximum will be fine. It's okay. It's a bit unusual feeling in the hand, the way it's designed, but you know, it's not too bad, it's not too heavy. Yeah, wow. So if you only wanted a robot vacuum, and if you're fully carpeted, Yeah, this is difficult. It's, as I said, it's new. My home is mainly carpeted, wall-to-wall carpeting, apart from the hallway, the kitchen, the bathroom and the ensuite. They're all obviously hard floor. So you can use this on hard floors as well. So this will clean the areas where your robot might not be able to go, under certain low furniture, if the robot's too tall to go under them. This head might go under them, under your bed, if your bed's quite low down. And obviously in those places where the robot can't go, there's not every single area. The robot is not going to clean, it'll try and clean most of the area, but there's going to be certain areas it just won't go, because you might have a heavy piece of furniture in between, you know, there might be a wall here, heavy piece of furniture here, and a narrow gap that the robot won't go down, but maybe this would go down it. If not, you could just fit the crevice tool. So obviously, if I can pop that back on, the small tools will fit directly onto the handheld or onto the end of the wand. So if we grab the crevice. Ah, right, no you can't. That's odd. That's something that Eufy should look at. I've just realised it's square and this is round. So that's a shame. Unless there's some sort of adapter, you can't, no you can't. You can't fit a square hole into a round one, can you folks? That's a shame, because it would have been useful to be able to fit the small nozzles to the end of this if you were reaching up for your cobwebs. So that's a negative. So if Eufy can think about that for another version, or there may even be an adapter, but if there was an adapter it should have been in the box, but an adapter that would convert the round to a square, that would be useful. But as it stands now, and again, it's very difficult to pull off. As I said, it probably will loosen up. But yeah, as it stands now, you've just got this. So you can only use the crevice tool connected directly to the handheld unit, which is, yeah, it's a bit of a thumbs down for that. My first impressions of this Eufy E20 are favourable, but obviously I've only just got it. There's a few niggles which I'm sure I will iron out, and once it's been used several times I'll get used to the quirks and know how to correct them, as I did with my Eufy robotic mop and vacuum that I use in the kitchen. That just goes on every day, sometimes twice a day. I don't really even think about it, it just does it. It empties itself, it cleans the mops. I have to do monthly maintenance on it just to keep it working effectively. But it's something I can just more or less set and forget, just have to empty and fill the containers. I've not had to empty the dust bag yet or replace the dust bag yet. So, as with anything new, there's a learning curve. So, yeah, there's going to be some niggles which I will address, and I'm sure in a future video I'll show you this in action and I'll give you a more balanced view once it's been used in my house for a few weeks. But yeah, I'm so impressed with the performance, well, the suction of that little thing. I couldn't believe it. Let's pop it back in. There we go, so now it fits flush and it should be charging now. Yeah, it's starting, the charging indicators come on. There's nowhere to store the additional tools. And I'm thinking if they'd put some sort of storage.
Powered on.
Yes, okay.
Charging.
Right, thank you.
If you need to collect dust, please press and hold the home button for a few seconds.
Oh, that's nice to know. You can have a female voice as well. And also there are different languages. I'll just get my other thing. I've just thrown it on the sofa. Okay, I'll pop the wand into the floor head. And it does feel solid. It, you know, nice rubber tired wheels. And I do like the matte finish. It looks a bit more classy than a sort of a shiny black, piano black finish. And it does feel like a solid machine. But yeah, as I said, there's no storage. You know, you might think they could have had a sort of a clip or something to hold the accessories, but then you might be restricted, because if you want this in a, you know, a tighter space, there might not be room to have these stored on board anyway. This will stand up on its own. You can stand it here, look, next to it, like so. You could put that small nozzle just on top of the bin, or just have it somewhere to hand. I don't think these are going to be used, as I said. This is going to be a daily thing for most people. You'll just set it, maybe you'll schedule it. A lot of people, if they go out to work, they'll just have this coming on at a certain time every day. So when they come home, the carpets and floors on the same level will have been vacuumed. They've not worked their way out of getting up the stairs yet. I think they're working on it. But we haven't got robots widely available that will clean the stairs as well as walk up the stairs and clean the other areas of your home. You'd normally have to have, if you've got different levels on your home, I've got 3 levels in my home, you could have 3 robots. You could have your main one that does the mopping and vacuuming, and then you can have maybe a slightly smaller one for the upstairs. And then in my house, I've got another floor that's just got the master bedroom with ensuite. I could have a smaller robot just to do that. So, but one day, one robot will be enough, and it'll do everything for you. But this is it's a good sort of 2-in-1 compromise. I think it's very good, and it's the first I've seen of this type. Eufy also do a robot that incorporates a spot washer. So that's a lot bigger though. This container is bigger to incorporate that. So it'll wash floors, but it also has a removable spot washer, just as this has a removable handheld. But yeah, Eufy are coming up with some good, interesting designs. As I said, I've never had anything free from Eufy. I've bought everything I've shown you from this brand. I think might be the 3rd. I've shown you a very cheap Eufy, which was okay. I haven't actually shown you my other Eufy that washes floors as well. I have filmed a bit of a video for that, but I need to finish it. But yes, all in all, now what I paid for this, I think was a bargain. Normally it's $549, which at that price, yeah, it's considered. So on offer at the time of making this video, it's $279. And I bought this from a retailer I get discount from because I used to work for them. So I got discount as well. So I probably spent about $230 on mine, but that's not, you know, that's not the normal price. About $279 is the offer price, which I think is pretty good value for a 2-in-1 robot that empties itself. Don't forget, it empties itself into the dust bag. You will need to buy new bags, and I have to look into the cost of those. Only came with one. And there are other consumables you will need to replace from time to time. The filter is washable, but after a while you'll need to replace it with a new one. The side cleaning brushes, as well as the main brush, will need to be replaced. So consider an ongoing cost with one of these. Even if you're using one that's got a bagless emptying station, you still have to buy new brushes and filters for all those. So for the price of convenience, you know, you're going to have to fork out extra running costs for this. But yeah, first look, first go, so far pretty pleased with it. But as I said, I'm going to have to learn a bit more about this before giving you my full verdict in a later video. So please subscribe for that. And if you enjoyed this video, thumb it up. And I'll see you all very soon for another video. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.